Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, let's go!
Hey. You good? You good? All right. This is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we take a dive into all of the records from the artist of the week. This week we're doing Wu-Tang Clan, but instead of doing all the Wu-Tang albums, we decided to do Wu-Tang and Family. So we decided to do the debut records from each of the members of the band, or what is it? What is it, Jeff? Not just the debut records. I kind of fucked this one up, but that's fine. Let's just say the debut records from each member. So we're doing 10 records for each member of the group, and we're gonna give our biggest banger from each of them if we got it, and we'll get into that. So while you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars, 5 stars only. All the social media is at Asinine Radio. So let's get into it, Jeff. What's your least favorite Wu-Tang and Family debut record? Go.
Okay, so it's not just like debut records.
You really let me just like sink right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
It was a train wreck that like a car was parked on the tracks, and the train was going slow enough to where like there's probably time for me to get in there and help the guy push it off the tracks.
You could have, yeah.
But I would rather just watch it just hit the car and just push it off into the bushes and catch on fire. So it's not 100% just their debut albums, because at least one of these, I think just one of these is not their debut, but it's the debut album by GZA after like the Wu-Tang happened, after RZA got attached to the projects. So we're doing all 10 members. Even though Tyler thinks that some of these aren't members, it's fine.
Well, I never said that, but I said one of the members wasn't an official member until 2007, and that was Capadonna.
That's
just saying.
No.
It's true though. He wasn't an official member till 07.
Wrong. That's wrong.
It's true.
Wrong. But he was part of the family though. He was part of the family. Yeah.
Not an official member, but that's fine.
He was part of the family. He was on the Triumph song, and just I don't think he was on the song. So yeah, there you go. Actually, I think he was on the song. Yeah. He was on the Triumph song. That had everybody. So yeah, I was 97. He was an official member. So fuck out of here.
Okay. Still not from the beginning, but that's fine. Yeah.
Anyway.
What's the worst solo record from these guys for you?
So here's the worst for me, and it's just because it's almost unlistenable, and that's ODB, the Return to the 36 Chambers. Yeah.
Ooh. Dang.
Man, if it wasn't for a ton of skits, this would be the best. This should be number one. It really would be.
There's a lot.
ODB's fucking great. He raps, he recites poetry, he sings, he's quirky. Sometimes he just lets the dead air ring out, and it's fucking awkward. I just wish there wasn't so much filler, so much talking, and so much like skit type stuff. It's unlistenable at times. It really is, and I can't get through it. And so if I'm sitting there spinning this on the vinyls, I just think like, dude, I do not want to fucking listen to this because it's dumb. I wish there'd have been like a double LP of this, one of just his music and then 2 of just the outtakes, so I can just hear him goof around if I want to, like MTATs, like the Mark, Tom, and Travis show type of thing. That would have been cool. But out of all the solo releases, this is truly the most unique out of all of them. ODB's energy was infectious, as they say. He's so fun. His lyrics are very explicit and raw, but they're still very fun and endearing, and you kind of like laugh and giggle. But my biggest banger was Shimmy Shimmy Yeah. Dude, this is one of the best Wu-Tang Family songs, period. This is, even like considering tracks from our album of the week, this is one of the best things like Wu-Tang Clan has like ever done. This song is unreal. Amazing.
That's something, dude.
Amazing. But yeah, ODB's Return to the 30s, it's just, it's just too much. It's too much fluff, too much skits, too much talking.
Okay, so I'm gonna preface this by saying I'm not huge on gangster rap. Outside of like the big heavy hitters, the Dre's, the Snoop Dogg's, Tupac, all that kind of shit. Even Tupac, like whatever. And my bottom two are way more gangster rap than I really care for. And my least favorite, honestly, could be interchangeable with my number 9, but my least favorite is Capadonna, The Pillage from 1998. I have no banger from this one. I feel like this is just mediocre gangster rap. This is 4 years after the first Wu-Tang record. Yeah, RZA produced this one and all, but it's just, I feel like it's too much in the gangster rap vein, and I don't like the aggressive. His vocals are just a little too aggressive, and I feel like I just don't care. I don't care. It's not particularly bad. I don't care. I would never go back to it. And every song on this album just kind of bled together, and it was just kind of way too long. So Capadonna's The Pillage is my number 10. So what do you got for number 9?
All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. My next 4, I don't care about. They're interchangeable. Who cares? But Capadonna, The Pillage, that's my number 9 for whatever reason. I do like the way he raps. His voice is smooth and commanding, but he can also be like really aggressive. And after spitting so many words, you just kind of like lose interest because like, dude, you're just like, what are you so mad about all the fucking time? Like every song that you do, there's no nuance.
There's nothing.
You're just mad. You're just mad. I get it. But you're spitting so many words that I don't know why you're mad. I just hear like aggression. But it's just, it's fine. It's fine. I'll never go back to this. I don't think I'm going to listen to this until this week, to be honest. So I don't know. I have no nostalgia with this. And I don't care.
All right, number 9. Well, so I'll just say this too. Outside of RZA's debut record, I've never heard any of these records.
Damn.
So this is like all new to me, and I've only ever listened to the first 2 Wu-Tang records, so this is all. I have no nostalgia for like any of this stuff. I'm obviously not a hip hop man like you are. With that being said, I wasn't a dig. But my number 9 is You God's record, Golden Arms Redemption from 99. Got no banger off this one, more just in the gangster rap style. You hear a lot of the late 90s, early 2000s, like production kind of things, like a lot of the bass sounds and everything are very of that era. That you hear it a lot, and like I feel like I don't want to compare it to like P. Diddy stuff, but like Biggie's P. Diddy stuff, like New York hip hop at the time.
Yeah.
And I just New York hip hop in the late 90s I don't like. I prefer East Coast hip hop over West Coast in general.
Just
I
say
feel
like Bad Boy Productions.
Exactly.
Because it is.
Yeah, the Bad Boy stuff, that's perfect. Yeah, you're totally right. But otherwise, East Coast I feel like is way better than West Coast hip hop. And yeah, this You God record, it has that Bad Boy style to it, and just really honestly, out of all the stuff I listened to this week, this is the weakest RZA has ever done from a production standpoint. It's too derivative of that. It's lost a lot of his little nuances, little things that made him RZA or makes him RZA from a production standpoint. So yeah, You God's Golden Arms Redemption is my number 9. So what do you got for number 8?
You God, Golden Arm Redemption, 99.
Okay.
Yeah, I 100% agree. The biggest knock to this is it fucking sounds like East Coast Bad Boys bullshit. And I hate that sound. I fucking hate Mace. I don't like P. Diddy, D-Gaff. I don't like Biggie. I don't like Tupac. I don't like any of that stuff. And Tupac's not East Coast, but he was from the East Coast. That's fine. But this is just, it has very similar productions and sounds. It's not a bad album. It was a fun listen. I would never go back to this. Because I do think it just sounds like a shitty version of like a bad, like maybe P. Diddy got his fucking hands into RZA's mind or something, and that's just.
I mean, it would kind of make sense. I mean, Bad Boy was just blowing up at this point, so I think that's really where it comes from. He sees P. Diddy just blowing up and so popular, making all this money, and Wu-Tang is kind of like on the way out. They're like, I don't want to say they're forgotten, but they're definitely not nearly as popular as they were in the mid 90s. So I could totally see him that's why he took this approach to the production.
I mean, I think P. Diddy's biggest album came out in 99.
Did it? I thought it was like 97.
That was the one with like his.
Because Biggie died in 96.
No, P. Diddy's biggest album.
Oh, I know, but like Biggie died in 96, and I figured P Diddy came out with an album like a year after that to kind of like play on the momentum of Biggie's death.
And honestly,
That's what I would have thought.
Like the roster for East Coast of like the Bad Boy era, like they leaned heavily into like Faith Evans, and then
for sure,
like Mace, and dude, Mace is just like a pop artist essentially.
Well, even like Lil' Kim, you know, they really
hold on there, dude. Don't say nothing crazy over here, because Lil' Kim was the
she's
best.
not that good,
thing,
dude. No, dude.
The best thing that ever came out of that.
Okay. I'll give you that, but it's still not great. Still not great.
You're right. It's perfect.
That's
all
not
right.
true.
What's your number? What's your number? What, 8?
My number 8. Yeah. So my number 8 is ODB, Return to the 36 Chambers. This album's, it's good. It's fine. It's definitely a mess. And really ODB, he's better as a feature on a song rather than as the leader of a song. He's a little too wild, and he can't, I feel like it's hard for him to carry an entire song. That's really what he lacks in. He's like a hype man. He's like a Flavor Flav, but better than Flavor Flav.
I would have said he's like Will Ferrell. Yeah.
Okay.
Good
like
in supporting roles, but very, very difficult to like lead a movie.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I mean, I don't think it's overtly bad. I do agree that there are way too many skits, and that's way too much. But I mean, I don't think I'd ever go back to this. I would never, definitely never get it on vinyl. But yeah, I mean, I do have a banger. It's Protect Your Neck 2 at the Zoo. I just like, because they all sound super pissed. Like even ODB, like he rarely sounds like he's commanding, like he sounds like pissed off at something. But it's a pretty straightforward song, great beat, not really a skit-like song, and I don't know. I just like it because I think it's probably the most straightforward song on the entire record. But yeah, ODB, Old Dirty Bastard, Return to the 36 Chambers is my number 8. So what do you got for number 7?
What a waste. I don't know. It's just such a waste of an album, because I love him. I think he's great. I think he's just so unique, so sarcastic, and so fun. But like, why is there so much bullshit in there?
Yeah, you're right.
You know, like, come on.
I agree.
Whatever. All right. What are we on? 7. Number 7, Mastakilla, No Set Date, 2004. I actually like his rapping style a lot. I like this production. I think this was just solid. You know, like Rizk still got it. He's the executive here, so there's a lot of other people going on here. I just think it's just kind of like middle ground. It's just whatever's. And if you're kind of going in like chronological order, like 2004, we're already kind of getting at the end of it here. Like Wu-Tang's already kind of like squabbling and whining about royalties and fighting within each other and wanting to branch off. So it's a little late, and it's just a little too East Coasty for me too here. So
too East Coasty.
Unfortunately, also the last album that I have for the year that I subscribe to for Vinyl Me Please is this record. So
okay,
I already know I'm going to purge that one. So that kind of sucks.
The Mastakilla, right? Not the ODB. Did you ever get ODB?
I wanted to get the ODB for the record store day, but I didn't because it sold out, and then it's always been available, so I just never did. And I'm glad that I didn't, because even though I do think there's a perfect record in there, a perfect hip hop record in there, it's just not that.
So I agree with you. I see it all the time. Every record store that sells hip hop has that ODB record, and it's always like $30, $32, something like that. It's never crazy expensive either.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not going to get the ODB. So, but anyway, yeah, Mastakilla is your number 7. Do you have a banger off this one?
No bangers. I didn't hate this record, but I did not enjoy this record.
All right, my number 7 is also Mastakilla. So I mean, we're really on I think our rankings are pretty much going to be the same. Mastakilla, yeah, 2004. This is the latest, the newest debut record, I guess. Is that the right way of saying it? Out of all the members, out of all 10 of them. And you could definitely tell it has a more polished production sound, although there is still a lot of that conscious hip hop style, that kind of gritty, kind of straightforward beats going on, kind of the cool sampling that's still there. It's still there in a sense, but then there's the more modern gangster rap that's really thrown in. So it's a solid combination of the two genres, I feel, but in the end it just, there's better gangster rap, there's better conscious hip hop. I'd rather listen to many of the other members' solo records or a Wu-Tang record over this one. It's in the end it's not bad. It's just I'm not going to go back to it. So my banger is Secret Rivals. This one has Method Man on it. The drum beat is just really kind of has this almost like off time thing. That piano sample is really fucking wild. But everybody's rapping, as chaotic as the music is, everybody's rapping is very smooth, and it really adds, I don't know, it all weirdly makes sense in this one particular song. And I don't feel like there's anything on the Wu-Tang record that sounds like this. This is just a really standout, unique track amongst all of their solo records. So yeah, Secret Rivals is my my banger off of Master Killers.
Yeah, you do like that record. So you want my Vinyl Me Please pressing is what you're saying.
I don't. No, okay. I do not
all
want
right.
it.
Well, it's a good deal.
Only my top 4 I want on vinyl.
Ooh.
I'm just going to say that. I'm going to say my top 4. And now one of them I already have.
I think my top 3 I'd get. That's it, though.
So what do you got for number 6?
Number 6, the RZAs.
Okay. All right. Why is that?
What is it called? Bobby Digital in stereo, 98. I will say that this album is really rad at a glimpse into just pure imagination of what RZA can do / what he wanted to do. It's a cool concept. It's a cool story. The delivery is great. And it's a way to sort of like nerd out and be this character that RZA has created. I think the whole thing is worth a listen to because there are really cool parts here. But I think it's really boring. I think it's like as boring as like You Got in Capadonna. I just think, but because it's RZA, because he has such a cool imagination, because he's able to kind of tell this story musically and production wise, it makes it better. But dude, it's just stick to producing, bro.
Okay,
that's it.
All right. Okay. All right, my number 6 and 5, honestly, they could be interchangeable, and I don't care if people think this is controversial at all, but my number 6 is Ghostface Killah, Iron Man from 96. I just think it's not bad whatsoever. This is just closer to gangster rap. It's just he has a good, commanding, angry, pissed off voice. Not like Ice Cube, not nearly as good as that, but it's definitely up there. But I feel like he's always on. He never turns that off. There's no smoothness to his voice. There's no nuance really to his voice. It's just I feel like the beats are better. They mesh better with RZA's his voice meshes better with RZA's beats on this one. And also this album, most of the album has like the other Wu-Tang guys on it. So this is almost like a Wu-Tang record. It really is. It's not. Yeah. I wouldn't even. It's almost hard to say that this is a solo record. It's essentially like a lost Wu-Tang record. So yeah, I mean, it's good. I don't know if I'd ever really go back to it. I know people love Ghostface. I think you really love him a lot too.
Love the Ghostface.
But I feel like there's nothing that really stands out for me from the guy. I do have a banger though. It's Box in Hand. Just a really solid beat. Some really cool samples. He doesn't sound as pissed on this one, which is probably why it's my banger. It's a little bit smoother, with his delivery, but also Method Man's on this one, and Method Man is the king of smooth when it comes to Wu-Tang music. So maybe that's what added to like kind of the more softness of Ghostface on this one. But yeah, Box in Hand, good song, good album too. Honestly, good album. I know I was talking shit, but it's a good album. My number 6. So what do you got for number 5?
Number 6 isn't that good, but number 5 is the GZA Liquid Swords. This is probably going to irritate some people, but
yeah,
I do think this one is just too middle ground to be any one of the greats. And the greats, like the top 4, I think are fucking great. I do think it's a little bit too middle ground for them. It's just mid-tier stuff here. And I know like I think he's the only person that had a record before like what we're doing the rankings as the family of Wu-Tang and he has a lot of cool, unique things that are just like to him, like a lot of the cool like rhyming schemes that he does, the way he tells stories, the way he can kind of go from being like aggressive and pissed off to kind of like nonchalant and sarcastic. I think it's fun. But I really do think this is middle ground. I think this is kind of just, for lack of a better word, boring. Shadowboxing, dude, that's a great song. This is the most like aggressive Wu-Tang Shaolin sounding song on this album, and it had Method Man on it, so you can't go wrong there. But I don't hate GZA. I think he's like the dad kind of these releases. Just like, it's just good. It's just really good.
Well, I guess we'll get into it later. Never mind. I was going to say something.
He's really good.
He is very good. Very, very good. All right. So that's really wrong. 6 or number 5. That was your 5. That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay. This one also might upset people, but that's okay. I think friend of the pod, David, loves this guy, and that's Raekwon, right? Doesn't he love Raekwon?
I love fucking Raekwon.
You love Raekwon? Yeah, he's my number 5. Only built for Cuban links from 1995.
That's fucking wrong, dude.
This is the only reason why this is a step above Ghostface is because it's a little bit more conscious hip hop. He still kind of has this like aggression to his voice, which I don't feel like there's a ton of nuance with him. Like there's like no playfulness, and that's kind of why I kind of ranked him as low as I did. And not to say that it's bad, because it's not a bad record whatsoever. I don't feel like there's nothing unique enough that makes it stand out and makes me want to rank it higher. It's just kind of, I guess, more of the same that you get from the Wu-Tang record. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
It's just, whatever. My banger is Guillotine Swords. This is just a Wu-Tang song. Had a lot of the guys on it. Has that typical Wu-Tang beat that you hear from 36 Chambers. It's a good throwback, even though it's a year later, 2 years later.
Yeah.
But no, that's a solid song. But otherwise, I feel like a lot of the album bleeds together. It's a long record, like most hip hop records are. But I don't know. It's good. Okay. It's good. I wouldn't get this on vinyl. I'll just say that now.
Okay.
So
that's something.
What do you got for number 4? Oh, and before we jump into that, reading through their history, they have so many fucking extracurriculars.
Oh yeah.
Like the amount of solo records these guys have, and then other collaborations. Like they'll create these little like groups of just 3 of them, and then put out like 2 or 3 records.
Yep.
It's like what? Like it's so convoluted. It was hard. I mean, I still don't even understand it all because it's so convoluted. But it's just, there's so much to take in. Like I can't even imagine trying to be like an expert on this group because there's so much going on, and there's so much written about this goddamn group. It's insane.
Like, I don't know. This is like the hip hop equivalent to like a pop punk band or doing things like this, like on a smaller scale, but like Blink doing like Plus 44 and Angels and Airways and Transplants, all these little other offshoots, and like how fun it is for like us to like talk about these things, but to somebody who doesn't give a shit about pop punk, they all sound pretty much the fucking same.
Yeah,
but that's similar to this in what they do as a group, except that there's a lot more with them, and they really do fucking sound the same. A lot of them really fucking do sound the same. Like objectively, dude,
I can only imagine.
The fucking same.
So yeah, what's your number 4?
So everything here, I don't have one of these, but I have this one, and this is on the chopping block. But that's Inspector Deck, Uncontrolled Substances, 99.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with this album. Like he's got a cool flow to him. It is kind of middle ground here, but I think he has an exciting voice. He has an exciting delivery. Obviously, the RZA songs sound like RZA songs. Everything else falls a little bit flat because there's other producers here, other songwriters. Yeah. And that's because it's a hip-hop record that RZA produced a couple tracks on. It's not a RZA-produced record. That's a cohesive thing. It's like it's a hip-hop record. And so whenever you hear like RZA, like, you automatically just think Wu-Tang, and you automatically just get into that mindset, and it's just like, okay, that is great. But that's not fair to the record. But unfortunately, that's the way it is. It is what it is. But dude, like what's fucking great about this album is a solid 6 or 7 songs are essentially written by and produced by Inspector Deck. Like that's cool. That's not common especially for these guys. They don't write a lot of their songs. They certainly don't like produce their own fucking songs. And a lot of these songs are just him. Nobody else. No guest vocalists, no fucking guest producers, no ghostwriters. Just him. And that's cool. And I respect that. And that's dope. I like that.
I do too. I like that a lot.
My biggest banger was The Cause. This one because it features Street Life, who was a minor character in the Wu-Tang world. Has 45 other million people who are in the Wu-Tang family. But like, dude, damn, Inspector Deck brought the heat with this one. It's so fucking heavy. It's so aggressive, but also like really funky, like groove funk mixed with just pure gangster rap aggression. Just perfect blending of everything. And I do really, really like this record. When I need the room, this will be purged. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy it.
Oof, okay. All right. I do have some good things to say about Inspector Deck. So at this point, my number 4, this is where I either have it on, actually only one of these I have on vinyl. The rest of the other 3 I do want to get on vinyl. So my number 4 is RZA. RZA is Bobby Digital is my 4. This came out in 1998. This is the only one that I have on vinyl. Out of all 10 of these records, this is the only one I have.
Where did you get this, and why do you have this?
VMP. When I was still subscribed to VMP, I got this
that's
one.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, once again, Vinyl Me Please, VMP, they put out quality product. I mean, just the presentation, the jacket, the color variant of the LPs, it's spot on. Like, it's a beautiful package.
Do you have the Wu-Tang VMP?
I do have that too, yeah.
Okay. So you have the Wu-Tang, the Low End Theory, and this one?
Yes. And I have MIA's
but not because you were
record.
Subscribed, right?
No, I got that one because I was subscribed.
Oh.
Because I got it because like I had that because I didn't want anything for that month, so I went back and I got that MIA one. But I think those are the only VMPs I have. No, I have a couple other ones too, but it doesn't matter. What does it matter? They put out quality shit. In the end, they just put out quality stuff.
Correct.
Yeah, and RZA's record. I mean, I've gone back and forth on this one. Sometimes when I listen to it, I really, really enjoy it. Other times, I just think, it's kind of on the chopping block. But then this week, when I listened, when I listened to this record a couple weeks ago, because originally we were going to do Wu-Tang like a month ago, but things happened and we didn't. And back then, this was way lower. But when I listened to it again this week on vinyl, I thought, damn, this record is way better than I remember. So it fluctuates quite a bit. This is the only record I feel that would ever fluctuate. And right now, it's in a good spot. I want to keep it. I think the combination of his I don't think he's the best rapper, but he's good for his beats. Like, he's good at creating the beats for his own style. And you hear it on the Wu-Tang record. Like, there's some really good RZA shit on the Wu-Tang record. And I feel like that's how this record is. I mean, he knows, obviously because he's the same person. So he comes up with the beats to match his vocal stylings really, really well. And that's where this record comes in. There are, of course, some moments that are like, dude, you cut out probably 10 minutes of this record and it would be okay. But that's most hip hop records, honestly. Like almost every hip hop record, unless you Run the Jewels, that's like every hip hop record. You could probably cut out at least 10 minutes and that's fine.
At least. Yeah,
at least. So, my banger is NYC Everything. This one has Method Man all over it. I mean, hint, hint. Method Man, you're gonna hear him a lot. His voice is just so fucking good, unique. Love the beat. Has this kind of like jazzy thing going on. Just that song is an absolute banger. And yeah, RZA's Bobby Digital is my number 4.
All right.
So what do you got for number 3?
So you got Method Man as 1. You have Inspector Deck as 2, and then you have Jizza as 3.
Possible.
Okay. All right.
What do you got for 3?
Number 3 is Ghostface, Iron Man.
Okay.
Dude,
boring, but
you're
okay.
fucking nuts, bro. This is an album, dude. RZA has some incredibly cool like blaxploitation inspired beats. He's never done stuff like this before, and he's never done it like since. This is the perfect blending of like that genre of music and then like hip hop. And Ghostface was like mad this entire time. And he's always fucking mad. But listening to the lyrics, like you realize he's not always mad, but he's just kind of like intense. He's just an intense guy. And also watching like the documentary and just hearing like his upbringing and everything, he's always intense. And he never smiles, never really laughs. He smirks occasionally, but he's always just intense. And it made for an intense record. And I think like the aesthetic of this record is perfect. I think it's perfect. There's no fucking around. But that's okay. You don't need fucking around. It's okay to have an intense record. No big deal. The song 260, this one featured Raekwon, and both of them are just so goddamn smooth. Like, they both just try to outdo each other. So. And Raekwon is just, dude, dude's the bee's knees right there. So I'll gush over him in a little bit. But my top 3, I for sure either own or will buy on the vinyls. And I hope I find a good copy of this one soon, like a good OG copy.
All right. Okay, my number 3 is Inspector Deck, Uncontrolled
Jesus, too.
Substances, from 1999. Possibly, we don't know yet. This one. So honestly, my top 3 are this high because these are the only albums where I feel like the vocals are better than the beats. The beats are secondary on these top 3 records. I really like Inspector Deck's flow. I think the way he it's his enunciation of words. It is so clear, nothing is muddled, and he says so much. He says so much, and it's just incredible how clear it is. And I love that kind of that flow. It's commanding in its own way. He doesn't always sound pissed off. He just has this really good way of rapping that I really like. And I feel like he's the only one that does it like this. Everybody else, like Raekwon, Ghostface, Capadonna, they're just pissed off. They never fucking turn off at all. RZA is kind of like this in between. But Inspector Deck, man, he's clean, fucking clean, his rapping. And I really like that. And really the product from like the beat wise, it definitely does have a little bit of that late 90s, almost Bad Boy Records production style to it. But there's still more of the conscious hip hop, the early 90s, mid 90s conscious hip hop in there. So where you can kind of deal with the late 90s production style. But really in the end, I just think his vocals are they're some of the best. And I think objectively, I can't even say objectively.
Let's see what the fuck you want, bro. This is our podcast. Say it.
I think, spoil it. GZA objectively is the best rapper in the group. Inspector Deck is a close second though. Just saying that. I'll say that right now. So I really like this record. The first song I ever heard from this was Movers and Shakers. You put this on. You brought this to the podcast like a few months, like maybe 3-4 months ago.
Yeah.
You put it because you got this on vinyl, so you put that song on the playlist, and I was kind of blown away by it. I mean, it does have that late 90s feel to it, but his rapping is it's so fucking good, and the whole record is like I said, is much in that same vein. So, Inspector Deck, Uncontrolled Substances. I will eventually get this on vinyl. This is really good. Great record.
Or just wait till I purge my Vinyl Me Please copy because it fucking sounds good.
Or that. Yeah.
It sounds good.
I wonder if there's any, if you don't end up purging it, I wonder if it's still on VMP. Because I would probably just buy the VMP copy because you can't go wrong with them, honestly.
I think three more hip hop records, then I'm going to do like a clean sweep in my hip hop collection and purge like 15 records.
Did you get rid of all that like obscure shit that we used to buy? Like the $7 records?
Not all of it, no. I kept Gigolo Tony. I kept Tila Rock. Yeah. I got rid of Nket. So no, not all of it. Some of it.
All right. Gigolo Tony.
You don't fuck around Gigolo Tony, dude. No.
I like how we both bought one of his records, but they were different records. They were both in the $7.
Yeah. They're both really good.
They are really good. All right. So what do you got for number 2?
Tikal. Method Man.
Man.
94.
Stupid.
I mean, this is to I don't know, to explain this in the best way possible. This is the most pop out of all of the records here. It's the shortest. It's the most melodic. It's a pop record. It's a pop hip hop album. And RZA did a great job producing this one. It's so dark and it's so gritty, and it perfectly props up Method Man's vocal delivery because he's just a shit fucking singer. He's a shit rapper. He's cool, man. Like Bob Odenkirk in The Office. Cool, right with the hand, kind of like doing the wavy thing. He's just cool, man. It's dark. It's muddy. It's very aggressive. It's really just like RZA and Method Man doing their thing. So it's kind of stripped down output compared to like 36, even though 36 was very stripped down. This is just them two, essentially. And Method can carry an album on his own. He doesn't fucking need anybody else. He doesn't need skits. He doesn't need fluff. The dude can carry his own. And it shows on this album because he's so charismatic. God damn, dude. Like, when he speaks, you listen, not because you're afraid, like he's like Chuck D, just because, like, I want to hear what you have to say because I like you. You know what I mean? Like, he's just, god damn, he's charismatic. Doesn't have a ton of range, but he has that charismatic, commanding voice. It's unique, and his flow is always easy to get into. But damn, dude. Two standouts for me. Like Tikal, the title track, certified banger. Method like supposedly wrote this when he was high on PCP, and that was that was a whole different thing. But then also Meth versus Chef, dude, fucking classic Wu-Tang shit right here. Two MCs battling it out over, and the production like building that matchup was so well done. And it has the iconic, like, did Raekwon mess up his verse, or was it just like an intentional thing? And there's this whole like thing about like Raekwon's verse, and Raekwon has like continuously said, no, I did that on purpose. And I was like, I don't know, man, sounds like he messed up, and they just recorded it and didn't cut it because it was you fucking up, and that was Method's way of like telling everybody that I am better than you because you fucked up. See that? I don't know the truth, but it's really cool. God damn, this album is fantastic. I love this album so much.
It's great, man.
It is really good. It is. Dude, this is only fucking 40 minutes. Like, come on.
I know.
40 minutes long.
I think it's probably I think it's the shortest solo record.
It is for sure the shortest solo record by like 15 minutes. You don't always need a double LP fucking hour and a half movie, Marvel movie here. Like, just cut it, dude.
I agree. I totally agree.
Damn, this record is good.
All right, so Tikal is your number 2.
Tikal.
Now, my number 2 is Jizza, Liquid Swords. This one kind of blew me away. This is the first out of all, because I had no particular order. I just kind of went like, okay, I've never heard this guy's record. I know very little about him. This is the first solo record I listened to with my listen through, and Jizza, Liquid Swords was, dude, it's fucking amazing. The beats. I mean, RZA really did something special on this one. The amount of layering on this is really incredible. Like, it doesn't sound busy. It's just the perfect amount of that, and his delivery, Jizza's vocal delivery, I think dude, it is the smoothest out of all 10 guys. He is the smoothest, but yet just as commanding as your Raekwon and Ghostface. Like, he doesn't need that aggressive tone to make you fucking listen. It's remarkable. It's fucking amazing. Jizza, this record really blew my mind. I mean, honestly, I don't want to say I like this more than Wu-Tang, but I like his performance on this record better than I like his performance on Wu-Tang's first on 36 Chambers. I really think it's better on this record. And just the kind of reading a little bit of the story about the Liquid Swords name, like what a weird title for a record. But it's based off of a movie called Legend of the Liquid Sword, which I wanted to watch, but I didn't get around. I didn't have time to watch. But yeah, it's about people getting their head cut off, but it's still attached to their head. But the blade is so sharp that it doesn't actually like knock the head off of their body. Some weird shit like that. Yeah. I was like, dude, that's fucking cool.
It's like a fucking lightsaber. It just like goes through it and just like it sits there.
It's like, damn, dude, that was really rad. But yeah, I'm for sure gonna get this on vinyl. I think this record is just, it's truly something special. Really, really cool. My banger is Duel of the Iron Mike. This has ODB, Inspector Deck, and Mastakilla. Once again, ODB, a great feature artist. He has the kind of quirkiness that makes a song really cool and really different. Inspector Deck, like I was saying before, his delivery is very, very unique to him, and throwing that in with Jizza with that smoothness and that commanding voice, I think it's perfect. Mastakilla, whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, anyway, Jizza, Liquid Swords, this is an incredible record. Really, really dig this one. So, number 1 is Raekwon, because I'm a little cook.
Yeah, really, I'm a little cock that I think this is not just like the best of them, but one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. This is that's silly boy talk. Come on, this is more hardcore rap driven output. It's aggressive. It's word heavy. It doesn't have a lot of the shorter tracks and overall length that like Tikal did. And like, do you know that I say Tikal that way because that's how he says it in the Limp Bizkit song?
Yeah, exactly. That's how I say it every time too.
Well, that's how you should say it. But it's like this is incredible.
Like I've never heard Limp Bizkit, or like
because
I'm not
you don't remember
the biggest fan of Limp Bizkit.
When Method was on the Limp Bizkit track and he said the Wu-Tang let these nuts hang. You don't remember that one? Like
I don't remember.
Limp Bizkit fanboy over here. Get out of here. You don't know anything. All right. Only I know everything. Did you hear that one?
I did.
Yeah, Buzzball's gone, baby. I'm back in the Kurgstown now.
You just finished the Buzzball?
No, I've already I had like a beer after that. Actually, 2 beers after that. So here we go. This doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have a lot of shorter tracks like Tikal did, but this is super dense. Heavy on the lyricism, heavy on the world building. This is up there as I do think being like hip hop's like goats. This is easily top 10. Case
Like
can be
hip-hop
made for
in
top
general?
5. Absolutely. All time. Wow. Raekwon just has like an easy, commanding voice, but it's not because he's
never
mad
turns
or
off,
aggressive.
though.
But
It's like a
he never turns on.
one-trick pony. It's
he
like
never turns
he's a
on.
one-trick pony, man.
what trick is that?
I feel like he has no nuance to his voice. Not to say it's
that's the
bad,
problem.
but I feel
that's
like
the problem is you're listening to how he said. Again, this is bring it back to the Bob Dylan thing. You're missing everything here. You're focusing on how he says things and not what he's saying, and that's the problem. Hip hop is very vocal driven. These guys don't sing. None of these guys fucking sing. And when they do sing, it sounds like shit. And that's what made ODB so great is because he did sing. And his parents were like actual gospel singers. They sang in church. They sang at like band practice when they had, do you call band like hip hop, like band, is that band practice you would say?
I guess so, yeah. Rehearsal. You would say rehearsal.
Like band, just rehearsal, whatever. So when
Just rehearsal.
ODB's parents would show up to like the Wu-Tang, like hanging out and recording, like they would sing. And ODB's a good singer. He just chose to be fucking obnoxious about it. And that's what made him unique. These guys don't sing. So you should be focusing more on what they are saying and not how they are saying it. And this is heavy on lyricism and heavy on world building. And Raekwon just has an easy, like, to get into voice, but also has a couple like different types of flows. He chops things up to make like one line into 2 different lines and 2 different thoughts with a connecting idea. And it's just like he's a great songwriter. He's a poet. And the stuff he talks about here comes from his personal experiences, but also kind of just tells like a story. And he builds this mafioso world where he's a star. And it's like escapism in a way. And it's all these different things that he's doing in one record that we've just never heard before. And again, it's extremely dense, and it just gets better. Honestly, this gets better every time I fucking listen to it. I love this album so goddamn much. And it's so fucking long, and it's a double LP, and I get through both records every single time.
Also remember, I've only listened to these records once. Most of these only once. So I don't have this nostalgia. I don't have this repeated listen through of a lot of these records, or most of these records.
That is true.
So I mean, 10 records, an hour each, roughly. I mean, diving into the lyrics on top of it, come on, and hearing a lot of the really minor nuances. I can only listen to so much. But
it was a tough week. Like I get it. Like I'll bet like 2 of these. Like I don't think I've ever heard Massa Killer's record, and I never heard Capadonna's record, but everything else I've heard at least like 2 or 3 times over the course of like my tenure of having ears on my body.
As a hip hop man.
Yeah, as having ears on my body. That's all right.
All right, my number 1 is.
Whoa, I'm not even. Well, hold on.
Oh, you didn't even give a banger.
There,
no, you're right.
I'm
you're
not
right,
even half done
right,
there, dude.
Right.
Hold on there, dude. Slow down there, bro. Reel it in there, because you got Raekwon and Ghostface they're solid homies. They vibe super well with each other. Rainy Days is the best song. That sample fuses vocals from Donna Summer and Barbra Streisand over some like score of a John Woo Chinese film. Like that is, dude, that's classic Wu-Tang. That is classic Wu-Tang. And the movie's called The Killer. It's from 1989. It's about an assassin who accidentally hits a singer in her eyes and leaves her like almost blind. And then to get money for her operation to restore her sight, he decided to do like one more hit. That's like I watched a lot of like kung fu movies too. Not this week, but the past like 3 weeks. I don't know. Just this album's really influential in so many different ways to hip hop and pop culture. Go.
Okay. My number 1 is Method Man's Tikal.
There it is.
1994. This is I'm going to get into it on the main episode, but I feel like Method Man has the most not just nuance, but the biggest range when it comes to his vocal delivery than any of the other guys. I mean, ODB is a close second, but ODB he doesn't flow nearly as well as Method Man, I feel. Method Man has a unique voice as well. Like nobody sounds like Method Man, especially in Wu-Tang. And I really dig that. And this is like this album, and my favorite song off this one is Biscuits, which I think is the second song. But a lot of this album has a lot of deep, heavy bass parts, a lot of 808s being used, 808 drums being used too, which is just when you hear an 808, you're like, fuck, dude. It just, it's such a standout sound. And there's a ton of it on this record. And I feel like that's another reason what makes it stand out is that with his vocal delivery and his nuance. And I want to get deeper into this. I've only listened to this once, or no, I've listened to this one twice. I've listened to Cal twice. And yeah, honestly, I want to listen more. I want to go on vinyl. I want to listen to more Redman because obviously Method Man and Redman were BFFs, and you and David, I believe too, has said good things about those records, that record, whatever it is. So I want to get more into it. But yeah, no, Method Man's Cal is definitely my number one at this point. Definitely my number one.
Have you seen the movie How High, or that if you've seen it, like you watched it in a while?
I haven't watched it probably since it came out, and I didn't care about those kind of movies at the time, unless it was Cheech and Chong. I didn't care about like people getting high movies.
I mean, it really is like only about that. Like it's just very much about like, oh, how can we fit more like pot jokes into this movie? But
Moody, yeah,
Moody Booty, Judy Booty, Rudy Judy. It's just it's very like buddy-esque, like Method Man and Redman. They're like BFFs for life. Like immediately as you see him on screen, they're just it's fine. It's good. Watch it again.
Did you ever see do you remember the MTV Cribs with Method Man and Redman?
No.
They did one. It was really it was so stupid, but they lived in this like shitty ass condo, like really run down condo. I guess it was in Staten Island or wherever, somewhere in New York. And yeah, like he'd literally have like a little tiny TV set up next to their bed, or like Method Man does, like next to his bed. He has an Xbox hooked up to it. And that he said, "This is all I do. This is all I do. Just play Xbox.
Yeah,
just play video games all day."
Bunch of dorks.
It's just like, and they lived in fucking squalor. These guys, like in 1999, 2000. They clearly have the money to live elsewhere, but they just kind of like lived in this shitty fucking condo. It was good. If it was even real, who knows? Because a lot of MTV Cribs is fake. But
it's all real.
Anyway, that's all I got. That's all I got for the rankings.
That's it. That's all.
Do you have anything else?
No,
good.
That's it. That's all.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, smash that subscribe button, that follow button. Keep listening, and that's it. That's all.